Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back for the Somerset Studio, or I saw it in Somerset Studio Magazine. I never say that right, but anyways, this week what we're going to work on is these, because I just think it's super cute. It's called Shades of Violet. What's this one? Oh, I don't know. I think it just fell out because it's perforated. But anyway, what she has done is taken watercolor paper, and I tried one just to make sure that I knew what I was going to do because I didn't have the same things that she had. And she says create a small art journal using torn pieces of watercolor paper. So I just tore this piece, which I will add to my little journal I have here. Apply various papers to the journal pages, adhering them with gel medium. Use a charcoal pencil, and I'm using Stabilo All instead of charcoal, to draw a circle on one page and smudge with your finger. Spray blue and purple inks onto the journal page. Repeat until you are happy with the amount of color on each page. Add book text to the page if desired. So, I did my own little version. I have a little bit of doily here, which is really hard to see, but when you're up close, you can definitely see the texture of the doily, which I think is pretty cool. And then I've just stamped all over it, and I even wrote in the Stabilo All pencil. So I think it, it's pretty close. I have pink, and I do have some blues in the Distress Oxides. So I'm going to be using these watercolors. They're liquid watercolors, the ultramarine blue and violet. So that's how I got my blue and violet, because I don't have the spray inks in those. So we're just going to play around with this. Of course, mine obviously is not going to look the same as hers, but it's definitely the same idea. And you can see, and I'll show you in just a minute, how the pages don't line up together, kind of like hers don't line up together. So and you do that just by, I ended up taking, this is a 4x4 square of watercolor paper that I just tore around the edge of. These ones are 4x8, so that, obviously you get two panels, right? And I hand tore around the edge. And I did this ahead of time, not with you guys, because this kind of thing takes me forever because of my messed up thumbs. So I wasn't going to torture you with watching me tear those. So I did 2 pages like that. I have another one of these squares, and I think these squares that I have that are extra, I'm going to attach as kind of like a flip up and a flip out kind of thing. You can create your journal however you want. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to start it. And if I don't get very far, oh, I forgot to say her name. I mean, you could have seen it, but let's just look. This one's by Cher Salvatore, I think. I'll put it up here so you can see it better. So thank you for the awesome idea. And so I'll just kind of show you what I did. And of course, you don't even have to use those same colors, but if you want a very similar look, go with those type of colors. If you want something entirely different, then go for it. And you can see I got some ink on here, but that's not unusual for me. And then I just have all kinds of bits of old book page, all kinds of stuff here. I wouldn't use a whole lot of digitals simply because you're going to be using a lot of water. And as we all know, digitals and water don't really mix very well. So most of these are actual book pages and things like that. So that's what I'm using. And I even did some texture paper because, like I said, I really liked this. So you choose the little items that you want to add. And I am using my matte gel to put them on. That makes them stay a little bit better with the water. I mean, there's never any guarantee that it's going to stay perfectly or anything, but, you're getting it wet. So you obviously want a glue that'll hopefully hold up with that. And I'm just going to put a few pieces down. I am not inking these. I might ink around the edges of those, but I'm not going to ink the actual, the bits that I'm putting on here. And I'm just using my little silicone spreader thing. I got mine at the dollar store. And I'm just doing the back. I'm not going to worry about the front of them. So how is everybody? I hope you are all doing fantastic. I'm doing well. A little roasty toasty, but fine. Did some running errands today and that, like I do. It's kind of my everyday. Oh, I need to say hugs and blessings too. I can't remember if I said these in my last video. So if I did, I apologize. And I also say extra thank you to you guys. Maggie, Mr. and Mrs. Helm, and Katrina. Thank you so much for always joining me. All your kind comments. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating. I just can't remember if I said it or not. So I apologize if it is a double on that. But I do love all of you, and I thank you so much for watching, commenting, all those good things, because it helps my channel if you do comment or like, subscribe, chat with other people in the comments. All of it helps, so I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. And this is just cheesecloth. Thought I would try that, get a little texture off of that. And it doesn't really matter what it looks like right now, because it looks entirely different when you watercolor it, as you can see from my last one, you know, the one that I did already. So it's fun to add different textures. And then I also stamped some things on mine, but you can choose to do that or not. I did the Tim Holtz script, one of his script stamps. You can use anything. I just like to take a part of it and stamp that, and I like the way it looks. Got glue right here. Okay. And you can do as little, obviously, or as much of that type of thing as you want to do. Oh, and it said to draw the circle. I'll put my circle off on the side this time. Well, sort of a circle. An approximation of a half circle. And then you can, you know, make other marks if you want to. I even wrote, I think I wrote I love you, but I'll put love on that one. You could do, because you're not going to see, like, it's not going to end up looking just like that. And then you can also kind of go around the edges if you want to. Oh, and I also used, which I haven't ever used because I've never had a whole lot of luck with them, but these Stabilo Stabilo Aqua Color, they're supposed to be watercolor pencils, but I have not had much luck with them as watercolor pencils. But what I did figure out while playing with this, I will show you in just a minute here, is that if you get it wet, I'm actually going to have to wait until I dry this. If you get it wet, the card, and then you draw with these, which I know that's kind of the idea, but they'll kind of work. I don't know. They're not the greatest. They are definitely not the greatest. So if you have some good watercolor pencils, that's what I would use. Those were not my happiest purchase ever. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do another one of these with just whatever strikes my fancy. I guess I didn't need to wipe that off. I got excited and was just going to start watercoloring. So yeah, it was nice this morning, though. I did get to go for a walk again, because when I got up, the smoke was all sort of cleared out. I mean, it was still there, but more way out, not just right in our yard. So I did go for a walk. It's probably still not great, but I gotta get out sometimes or I'll lose my little marbles. Yeah, the doily is deceptive because you really can't see a ton of it, but you do see a little bit of that texture, which I think is fun. find little bits of things that you like. Old papers. I mean, it can be any papers. It can be just stamp stuff or whatever. These, I do know, these old ledgers do tend to bleed their color a little bit. So I'm not sure what that's going to end up looking like in the end, but we'll find out. And then this was a quote from something. I think this might be digital, so I don't know what this is going to come out like either. It was an image of a baby, and it was like a little quote that went with it. But I like the writing is more what I'm after than what it says. The script of it, I like. Font, whatever. This is that old 1920s paper. The soap, great. So yeah, I don't have a lot of stories or anything. Not that I ever have lots of stories, but I really have none. Just been watching the Olympics. And that's about that. Working. So, not a lot happening around here. Just putting bits wherever. Oh, you could put like a stamp on too. A stamp as in postage type. Because the color is probably not going to stay the same. Although this one with the purple would work. Oh, I know something I wanted to put on the front. I think this was the front. Because what size? Is this the one that goes inside? Yeah. Oh, I have that too. I have this little part of a playing card that I think I will use. I just think that would be kind of fun for the cover. You could put, once you're all done, I mean, it's kind of just like a little art journal, just for fun. But you could put family, like little circle punched family photos, or I don't know, put little quotes. It'd be a cool little quote book. Something like that, I think would be fun. I'm just gonna kind of put that like that. Just because I feel like it. Hopefully it will show a little something of the paint, or hold on to the paint, not just repel it with its little plastic coating, since I did. Oh, I have another thing we could do to it to make sure that hopefully it'll take a little bit. Put a little of our cicada wing on there. Let's see what we get. And stuff that hangs over, I think unless it's really bugging me or something, I'm going to leave it because I kind of like that look of like it's just hanging over. Okay, we're going to let that one dry. And I'm just going to do the outsides for now and leave the insides to be written on. But like I said, if you could use family photos, you could do all kinds of stuff, I think, with these little journals. And this is just some paper that I've painted with matte medium and then run through my embosser embossing envelope is I think what I was gonna say, but then the words did not happen. This way, I think. So what do you guys have going on? Are you enjoying your summer? Going on any trips? We are not doing a trip this year because we're doing our big trip next year. Saving our pennies, as my dad used to say. And making a big fat mess, like usual. As per normal. Stick down, you. Sometimes these old book pages, I think that they've been permeated with dust. And so it can be tricky to get them to stick down. I must say, they don't want to. Oh, I have this one that's got kind of blue gestation table for animal husbandry. In one of my little like farm ledger books that I found. I've got a little Asian writing, would be fun. Different languages I think are fun to do things like this with, and she did too. She used those too in hers, just because that way you're not concerned with necessarily what it's saying. It's more like this is shorthand. It's more that it just is an eye catcher, or you look at it. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more art-like, I guess, or it just adds interest because they're all different rather than all being just book page, regular book page. Not that there's anything wrong with book page. It's roasty toasty up here today. I would have turned on my fan, but I noticed in one of my videos recently, because it just needs to go sometimes. It's kind of loud. Oh yeah, I wanted some of this textury paper too. I think that will be interesting. You may be seeing this on Thursday because I have a feeling this is going to end up being a two-part video. So what I will probably do, because it's already been 20 minutes, is once I'm ready to go dry stuff, I might stop and then come back. I think that's good. We want to do some stamping on here. And then on Friday, we'll like put it all together. I think. Just depends. Do you want a piece of this? I just like the color of it. This is fun to do this kind of stuff though. I mean, it's really, for me, it's playing. And a pretty easy project. I mean, it could be time consuming. It could take you a little bit, but it's not difficult. Oh, we forgot to do the pencil, but we will get there. Let's do some more stamping. Let me get some other stamps. Got some crackle. I'm gonna go ahead and close this. Awesome part about those silicone, these things, is that you can leave them, and if they get dried out, just use hot water and they come clean again. Whereas brushes can be very persnickety about all of that. And I have this other script, and this is from Stampin' Up. I took it off the wood because I just didn't want that big, huge block of wood on there. But I do like the stamp. That's good on that. Maybe just a little, don't mess me up. Oh my goodness, y'all. I'm a wreck today. Okay, this one I might do like a real circle. So do I want to trace something, or I'll just wing it? Doesn't matter because I'm going to go around multiple times anyway. See, and you can see right there where it's a little wet, it's already starting to do its thing that it's water soluble. So wherever water touches it, it's going to move around. So you'll see in a minute when we do these. Okay, those two I think are good. I think I'll just leave that for now. If I want to add more, I can. And let's do this one. And I'm going upside down, and it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. That postage stamp is not wanting to stick right there. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay. That can happen with watercolor paper because it sucks in any liquid, it seems, which I guess makes sense, right? But it's hard to glue stuff to it. Ended up going through that. That wasn't very smart. Oh well. Too late now. Okay, I'm going to get these dry. I'll come back and do some painting. When I stop to get the paint part dry, then I'll probably stop for today, and then we'll come back and finish on Friday. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. And it is important to make sure you get these dry, and I did heat set the ink. It is permanent ink. This one is permanent. It's not like the oxide inks. But, you know, it's just good to do that because when you're adding water on top of it, you know, some of it might not stay. So I'm just going to take my liquid watercolor and put a drop on my piece of Mylar. You could use any plastic. You could use glass. Those tempered glass cutting boards from like the dollar store are great for this kind of thing. Just a little bit. And then I'm just going to use that out of there. So I have an ugly old paintbrush because it doesn't matter. We're not doing like fancy watercoloring or anything like that. So I think what I'll do first is add a little bit of just water in some spots, and you can see how the Stabilo all reacts with the water. And then I'm going to take one of these Stabilo all pencils, because you can get them to go on to this. It just, I don't know, when I've tried it in the past just using, I don't know, I just did not have luck before. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but anyways, it does work pretty good if you get it nice and wet like that. Because I want to use some other colors too, but you can use just the purples and blues and pinks. And you can see this is pretty dark, but you can make it lighter or whatever by adding more water. I kind of like it when it's darker. Just gonna add in some of the violet. So yeah, you just do that. We're just playing. We're just gonna truck around and put color wherever we want it, or leave it off where we don't. I kind of like this around the stamp, the black Stabilo. Just use the things you have. If you only have like Crayola watercolors, use those because it's gonna work. It doesn't matter the tool or the things that you have, because you're just basically getting this all wet and getting some color on there. These are just the things that I had. I didn't have the same inks and things, these sprays in the purples, so I'm just doing it this way. And you can do some squirts of water if you want to, like on there. That'll make that. And it's going to get pretty wet, so it may take a bit to dry. That's why I was saying after I do this part, I'm probably going to pause for today, and then we'll finish up Friday. I couldn't think of a Thursday video anyway, so I guess it worked out right. Happens. Run out of ideas, y'all. I do. I liked this color. This was a good one. You could even do some of the melted crayon on it. That would be kind of cool. I mean, there's a load of things you could do. Yeah, these cards, I don't think I have another one right here. But anyway, this is a center part of the card. So if you cut that out, then you have like a frame, but then you also have that piece left over. So those were fun playing cards. And they were the cheap dollar store playing cards. And I don't know if they're the same anymore. I got those years ago when my daughter had a Alice in Wonderland birthday party. We just bought a whole bunch of cards and made like garlands and stuff out of the playing cards. And then I had all of the cards left over. So yeah, I've been using them for different things for years. I can't even remember which birthday that was of hers. It was a very long time ago. But they're fun to play with because they have that center part like that. It's kind of a pretty color. And you can leave some parts with the natural colors, however you want to do it. If you want to cover it entirely, cover it. Yours won't look like mine, and mine doesn't look like hers, and that's how it's supposed to be. I even like to have some white space. I had more of that, and I ended up covering it all, and I kind of wish I hadn't, because I kind of like some lighter spots. But again, that's all personal preference, so you do it the way you like it. Okay, I think that one's pretty good. I don't know why I can't do more than one at a time, like add a little color here, add it over there, but no, I can't ever seem to do that. Ooh, I forgot that wasn't all the way on the lid. That was almost a disaster. I like to make those tears like really bright. I think they hold the color well and they look neat, like when they're all brightly colored. You can even take, let's try it on this textured paper, the watercolor. Just put a little bit of it because it will bleed. You don't need much of this. It's very wow. This is that textured paper. Sorry, I get quiet when I get concentrating on stuff like this. I know, it's kind of silly. It's just the brain can only do so many things at once, I guess. It's like I'm busy right now. I think on the back of this, I tried to get some splotches because it naturally is going to get some of the watercolor anyways, and I splotched it on other spots, but I think I might cover the backs with some kind of paper, so, because like I mentioned, I want it for writing. And by having different papers on here, I'm sure, as you can see, you're going to get color variations, obviously. And wherever these lift, wherever the papers lift, I'll just come back after it's dry and fix them. I'm not going to stress about that right now, because they're going to. I mean, it just isn't a perfect thing. Okay, and that one, you can see I didn't leave much white space at all. So it just, you know, it just happens how it happens. We'll do this one, and then I will set you all free for today, and we will revisit this tomorrow. So you'll get 2 days of this. Ooh, that's a lot of pink. That's a lot of pink. Didn't come out down at the bottom. And sometimes you might think you're taking away like the Stabilo, but it's amazing once it dries. You can see it again. I don't know, it's very interesting stuff. I want more purple. So inks, watercolors, like I said, whatever you have, just use what you have and see what you come up with. I like that cheesecloth. That's kind of cool because it spreads out through all the little strands of the strings. Looks like a cloud and lightning. And then we'll do something else too with the pages next time. Alrighty, so we have the first one, very fortuitous. It's like the Olympics, and there's a guy jumping the, what do they call those? Can't remember. It was in my mind, and then it just zipped right out just as fast. So, I don't know. Anyways, that is what we have for this day. And then tomorrow, when these, I want to make sure they get all dry before I do anything else to them. Once they're 100% dry, then we'll come back and do some other stuff. So I will see you tomorrow. Love ya. Bye.